So this is for anybody out there. I mean literally anybody out there who's having any kind of problems out of a law enforcement agency. You need to file a Freedom of Information Act request with the county manager that you're in. And the Freedom of Information Act request needs to be regarding any communique on file, emails, or anything that they have in the NCIC system or with your State Bureau of Investigation mentioning your particular name. Okay? Send a request to the county manager or the assistant county manager saying, under the Freedom of Information Act, I'm requesting any communique regarding my name. And they'll send you a file dump. They're going to send you, we got it on a little SD, little SD card. So it's going to show anything. It's going to show anything that the SBI has entered in you. It's going to show anything in the NCIC system that they've entered about you. And if you find any false information there, send a request for it to be corrected. And when they ignore you, you sue them. You sue them in federal court. It's against federal law. The NCIC national database is governed by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. It's a federal crime to use the NCIC system to submit false information. Now, lawyers want to approach it like, well, it's just cooler talk, standing around a cooler talking to them. No, it's not. This is a very, 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 very serious offense. And if you do your research, you'll see that most cases regarding false NCIC entries are settled quickly and quietly because they don't want people to know that they abuse the system nationwide, okay? So I'm advising anybody out there, what you need to do is file a FOIA request. Any communique regarding your name in the county you're in, the State Bureau of Investigation, NCIC systems, file the FOIA request and request that information. When you get it, you'll see what they have. If they've entered any information in any database about you that's false, send a request for it to be corrected. And when they don't respond within X amount of days, 10 days or something, you sue them. Okay? And this is a federal crime. It's against the Code of Federal Regulations. It's in the U.S. Code. It's even against the state statutes. They can't do this. They're not allowed to do this. So that's what I'm in process of doing in Cherokee County, North Carolina, is suing the sheriff and some other people for entering false information in the NCIC system. And I want people nationwide to get this information and start holding these oath-breaking shitbags accountable, like Dustin Smith, who's running for sheriff again in Cherokee County. And I promise if I'm alive and living here, he's not going to be sheriff because I'm going to tell everybody what this shitbag did. He's a lying, oath-breaking thief of a scumbag. He lied to my face. He told me my wife had civil papers to pick up at the sheriff's office. And when she showed up, it was a warrant for second-degree trespass that they arrested her for. Took us off the property, let everything that we had be stolen. They said they're not even going to take a police report because it was abandoned property. And then the trespass charges were not only dropped, but completely expunged off of the record. You can't even get a copy of the warrant. Well, we have copies of the warrant and copies of the bond and some other stuff. So I'm telling you what to do to hold these people accountable. If you'll get online and you'll see lawsuits that have been settled over false NCIC entries, this is a very serious issue. And it's time to hold these people accountable. Our founders taught us the absolute last resort. This is the Federalist Papers number 28, written by Alexander Hamilton. When the representatives of the people betray their constituents, then the people have no recourse of action but to resort to that original right of self-defense, which is paramount to all positive forms of government. So that's the last resort. We don't tumultuously run to arms whenever there's an injustice or a slight injustice. The Declaration of Independence teaches us that when a long train of abuses and usurpations produces invariably the same outcome, which is to reduce them under absolute despotism, then it's their right and their duty to throw off such a government. But we owe it to our founders to exercise all judicial processes, all legislative processes that we can use to correct the problem. And when the courts and the legislature and the executive authorities don't respond to protecting the rights of the people like the Declaration of Independence says that they're supposed to do, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, then there's the next part of the Declaration. That when any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it's the right of the people to alter or abolish it. And the abolition of a government destructive to the rights of the people necessarily entails the right of revolution, and the right of revolution necessarily entails the right to keep and bear arms. And it's asinine to think that the government can tell the people what guns they're allowed to have to resist government with when it comes to tyranny. Tyranny is not allowed to tell the people you can't have machine guns, RPGs, AT-4s, landmines, grenades. You can't have that to resist us with. No, you're only allowed to have pistols and shotguns. No, the Second Amendment ain't about hunting, and it's not about self-defense. It's about securing the state of freedom, and the only way that you could do that is if the right of the people to keep and bear arms is never infringed upon. They have unfettered access to keep their arms anonymously and carry them where they want to go in a peaceful manner for whatever purpose, as long as they're peaceful doing it. And peaceful doesn't mean harmless. Thus the machine guns. Peaceful people with machine guns aren't harmless, okay? And the government needs to know that people peaceful with machine guns does not mean that they're harmless. So, I'm giving you some information here, how to sue these people. If 10% of the people that watch this video sue your local government when you find false information, the exorbitant cost of how they're abusing these systems would go away almost immediately, okay? So, and if you want to, my wife and I, we don't care about money. I'll live in a fucking shack. I live right there in that compost bin if I have to for the rest of my life to make sure that justice is served on these shitbags. So we go into trial. If y'all want to get a paycheck, this is how you do it. We're not getting a paycheck. We're going all the way to trial with these people. I don't care what kind of money if they want me to compromise my morals when it comes to standing for justice, they better come with such an insane amount of money on a settlement that I realized that the amount of good that I could do with this amount of money is going to far outweigh the amount of justice that would be served for these shitbags that swore an oath to uphold and defend our Constitution and violate it every day they show up to work. So we ain't taking a settlement. We're going to trial, but I'm telling everybody out there in America that if you see this video, that's how you do it. File a FOIA request for any communique regarding your name. If you find any false information in those communiques, if you find anywhere where those public servants have said something about you that is not true, that's defamation per se, there's all kinds of laws that you can go after to get them. They're public servants, their text messages are not private, their emails are not private. Just file a Freedom of Information Act request, get the documentation, go through it, and when you find what we did, sue them. If you want to see justice served and these people go to prison, then hold out and don't take a settlement. If you want some money, this is how you get a paycheck. Then you can take the money and invest it in some other stuff and turn it into more money and help more people. I don't care what you do with it. Take the information and do something with it. You know, Sam Adams made a really great beer, but he made an even greater founding father. And he said that it doesn't take the majority of people, but rather an unrelenting minority keen on setting brush fires of freedom inside the hearts and minds of their fellow mankind. Spark, 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 spark.